Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Theresa here with day 10 from my 2022 October daily album, and I'm working with the Traci Reed Designs Hearth and Hollow digital kit, and this is what we're going to be creating today. And so it started with a photo of our front door, which I typically like to document day and night. And so there were a set of hand-drawn frames in the Hearth and Hollow Ellie's folder, and I took those and clipped pattern papers to them to create pattern paper frames, and then brought in a couple of other photos from around the house. And then I printed out this very simple yellow sort of sun-washed kind of pattern paper from the Hearth and Hollow kit to use as the background. And I found, and you found with me following through this process, that using a warmer background paper like this warms these layouts up and creates that sort of cozy feel that we like in the fall. And so I decided to, in the kit itself, the collection of frames is all together. It's a PNG that you can use sort of like a digital stamp, and I sort of turned it on its side, and so a couple of the frames you'll notice are turned on their side, and then I repeated one or two of them to sort of fill the page. And I left a couple of spots that are blank on the page. One is in the lower right hand corner where I want to do my title, and a top and a bottom frame sort of fall off the page there, just to give you that sort of feel like you're looking at a snippet of life. And that's sort of the feeling that I was going for. Like, it's just a collection of frames hanging on the wall. And so another thing I did as well, you can see here how I'm just adhering all of the photos with the frames and putting everything down on the page. And you'll notice I used one of the alphabets in the Hearth and Hollow kit to spell out the word home. And I did that in Photoshop. I brought those 4 letters into a Photoshop folder or Photoshop canvas, and just added the word and used the FX tool to add a drop shadow, or not a drop shadow, to add a stroke to it so that it would have the white border, and then brought it into silhouette and printed and cut it to make a nice just the word home for a part of my title. And honestly, like, this layout came together so quickly, and you can kind of see that reflected in the process video as well. It was just a matter of bringing in those frames, layering the pattern papers into the file in Photoshop, and printing them out and cutting them on the silhouette, and then adhering everything down. And I love these kind of layouts because they do make it just a little bit easier for me personally to kind of plan it out first. If you're a planner kind of person, then you would probably like creating like this too. And so, going along with the home title, I went ahead and grabbed some Felicity Jane puffy stickers here, and I'm just gonna add those to say feels like home. And notice how I tucked in one of the leaves into the O, and then I'm gonna add a couple of things in front of that feels like as well, just to create a little cluster there. And at this stage, all the photos are down and the title is established, and I'm gonna just throw all the pretty little bits and pieces at it and sort of use these frames as home bases now for some fun little embellishment clusters. And I totally blame Traci, credit Traci for this. I love how she describes herself as an extra when it comes to adding embellishments, and I like to do that too. I like to just have that little freedom where you can put what you want to down and not really worry about design rules or anything like that. And I think it's great that design professionals encourage that sort of play and that sort of freedom in your creativity as well. And you can see some of the embellishments that are in this collection. It's a beautiful collection. Some of my favorite elements were the trees and the little gray house. I love that we live in a little gray house, and so that I felt like that reflected our home, and the little trees around it just make for a fun little vignette there. And then I'm going to use these little labels here for my journaling and just write out a couple of sentences about some of my favorite parts of our decor this year. And I know I do quite a few layouts about what we're doing in the house. It's just something that I like, and I certainly don't have an endless budget or anything like that, but I do like to create arrangements. You've heard me talk about my plate rack in the past, and so there's a photo of that. There's also a photo of the kitchen window, and I like that that window sort of captures the changing leaves as well. And that's one of my favorite views in fall, is to stand at the kitchen and see the leaves behind our house changing colors. It's just a special part of where we are positioned in our neighborhood, and that we got to choose this lot, and part of why we chose where we are. And then I had this little cork 10, and I have no idea where it came from. You might know. But that's going to be my number for this layout, and I added it just in front of the title there. It's kind of a loosey-goosey way to present the day number, and I kind of like that. And with that, after tucking all the other little die cuts in, I'm just going to call that done and go ahead and adhere that. Actually, I'm not adhering it today. This is just a single insert, but I do need to punch it so that it will fit into the album, and that will wrap up this layout. Thank you so much for following along with my process today, and I will have a blog post about this on Friday. You'll also be able to see this on the Traci Reed Designs blog, and I hope that you will grab this collection. I'll have the link for you down below. See you back here again soon. Bye-bye.